Our LEDs need attaching to the board using flying wires. So here I have an LED, and you can see the anode is the long leg over there. And I'm going to take this red multi-core wire here, and I'm going to use this to attach my LED to the board. So the first thing to do is to take the multi-core wire and just wrap it round the base of the leg, base of the anode, just like I'm doing here. And it's a type of helix, just sort of wrapping it round like a helter-skelter. So it's really, really tight to that leg, and it's very, very smooth. So that wraps around the anode just like that. Just finish off the tip there. And once that's on, I'm going to slide this right up until it touches the base of the LED, so it's right up at the top of the LED. So now I just need to solder the flying lead to the leg of the diode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my soldering iron here and just clean off the tip here, covered in solder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the anode and the multi-core, and then I'm just going to touch in a tiny bit of solder onto the multi-core wire, and you'll see that the multi-core wire very quickly soaks up a lot of that solder. That's on quite firmly now. So now what I can do is I can take my side cutters and right up at the top I can now snip the leg of that LED like so, and now I have my flying lead soldered to my LED. So now I need to do the same thing with the cathode, with the other leg of the LED. So I'm now going to take some black multi-core wire, just trim off the end here to expose some of the wire itself, and again I'm going to use that black multi-core and I'm going to wrap that around the other leg of my diode. So again, wrapping it really tightly around the leg in that kind of helix shape, getting it as close as I can to the leg like so. So now I can push that up to the base of the LED and place it back on my bulldog clip for soldering. So I'm just going to take my solder and again just heat up that leg and the multi-core and dab a tiny bit of solder in there, and that's that completed as well. So the next thing to do is, with my LED, is to add a little bit of heat shrink tubing to cover up that exposed wire up at the top. So I'm just going to cut my heat shrink tubing to size. I'm going to slide it over the lead here and push it right up to the top, and if I've soldered that okay, it should just slip over the top of the exposed wire like so. Take my other piece of heat shrink and just slide that over that lead, and up it goes to the top, and that's in nicely. Now with heat shrink tubing, all I need to do now is apply a little bit of heat, and I'm just going to use the side of my soldering iron to do that. Just brush it up against the side, and that will cause the heat shrink tubing to shrink and tighten over those leads. There we go. Just brush it over the side like that, and hopefully you can see that the plastic of the heat shrink has contracted over the leads, and that's on nice and tight now.